Hello, everyone. Welcome to a hypothetical edition of Coming Down. You know what that fucking means. It's not just me and Matthew. It's
That's right.
It's me, Matthew, and Ricky and Shelby. We're all in a we're all in a room together. God damn, dude, this pandemic just will never seem to fucking end. But
Yep.
It does seem like things are getting better, and so we're hanging out in the new house that Shelby and her boyfriend bought, which is awesome.
Hell yeah.
And Matthew is vaxxed, so you're like a day
Half
walker.
vaxxed.
I'm half vaxxed.
Oh yeah, half vaxxed.
I'm a gray walker.
Yeah, a gray walker. Yeah, dude, totally. Yeah, but pretty soon you'll be able to walk between worlds.
Dude, I know. It's weird. I'm trying.
Dude, how many people are you gonna hug?
Everyone who will let me.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
That is the move. That is the move. So this is fucking awesome. We haven't done this in like over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
Like, I don't even know what the last one, because like...
It had to be in the winter months, right?
Well, I feel like we were kind of in between hypothetical episodes when this whole shit went down.
We were already
Initially,
going long, I thought,
We had kind of taken like a holiday break, and then
something like
there
that,
were a couple other, I want to say there were just a couple other episodes that y'all had recorded, and then stuff started to get funky, and so we were like, maybe we just chill and see if this all blows over. And then a year passed, and then 18 months happened.
Right. It was like that at first. It was like, oh, we'll just go to the Winchester, have a pint, wait for this to all blow over. Yeah. And then like, fuck, dude, a year later, it hasn't blown over.
You're gonna need these peanuts to cushion your system. Fuck.
Dude, for real. But anyway, here we are. So, I've got some questions for us. God, how do we do this?
What are we doing?
What are we doing? As always, we would love to hear your answers to these hypotheticals.
Yes.
So feel free to tweet at us at comingdownpod. Email is comingdownpod@gmail.com. Yeah, we'd love to hear those. And if you got some questions, some scenarios you think it would be fun for us to talk about, we'd love to hear those too.
Give it to us.
So let's just jump into it, y'all. Unless you guys want to like shoot the shit anymore or whatever. I don't know.
I feel like we just always start with the questions.
We just jump into it.
We'll
yeah.
shoot the
All
shit
right.
in the middle.
Yeah.
Plenty of shit
Like
shooting.
we do.
We are definitely going to get derailed halfway through this episode.
And I found a bunch of questions over this last year and just been putting them in a doc. So like I'm pulling up a couple of my favorites here. Found this one on Reddit. Shout out to Naked Kitty Alucard for putting it up there.
Hell yeah.
So this is the question. So you've died and arrived at a train station to your afterlife. The trains are labeled, in quotes, animals, traditional heaven, rebirth, and eternal nothingness. Which train do you take and why?
Alright, so animals, traditional heaven,
Yep.
rebirth, and nothingness.
Eternal nothingness.
Eternal nothingness.
This is the afterlife.
This is the afterlife. You have died.
And you're in a train station.
You walk into a train station and you see 4 signs, and these are trains you can hop onto. And presumably those signs are truthful, but you don't have any context for what they really mean. Eternal nothingness seems pretty like.
I mean, I was definitely going to say that the term eternal used there feels like pretty aggressive. Like, I was like nothingness, and you're like eternal nothingness, and I was like, that
really, you're
that
trying to
changes
stake a
things.
claim there.
Yeah, that is, I feel like I gotta think about.
Well, and
this.
like I feel like the definitions are probably like in order for animals as well as traditional heaven, because I mean.
But there
traditional
aren't
heaven
any.
according to who, right?
Right.
But for me, the choice is really easy because it's
Take it away. I want to hear your answer.
because it's just eternal nothingness.
Okay,
Shocker.
so can I actually step in here? Can I step in here as someone who also initially wanted to pick eternal nothingness?
Yes, please do.
But my main concern, since all I'm given are platform labels. So, I mean, presumably I don't even have, like, anybody I can ask. I don't have a pamphlet. I don't have any information about what these things
Where
are.
are my instructions?
So when I see eternal nothingness, one of my concerns is, am I consciously aware of the nothingness for eternity? Like, does eternal nothingness mean that I get blipped into a void and I'm hanging there in my mind, in my fucking brain, just like for eternity in a void?
That is also my concern. Is it some sort of limbo purgatory? You're just constantly like
and I probably don't have
nothing.
a body anymore, so it's like it's not even like when you press really hard on your eyes when they're closed and you'll like eventually hallucinate. Like none of that's happening because like you don't have eyeballs, you don't have any way of doing anything. But like, are you? My biggest like concern with that one, that's a question that I can't get answered, is like, am I gonna know that I'm in the eternal nothing?
And there's an argument that being...
Because otherwise it's like a clear cut, like, yeah, I'm going with that. We're all going home.
Okay.
Like, that's it.
There's an
But-
argument that awareness of being is therefore existence, which is kind of the opposite of nothingness. So like...
But why is it eternal then? I mean, like, why would it not be eternal?
Right.
So
If you just said nothingness, I'd be like, okay.
Well, maybe because it's like it implies that you would never like have another option,
Right.
You know, like.
But do these other ones is assuming that these other options do have other options down the line?
Rebirth makes me feel like
there
I'm going to
another
hit this
train
train
that
station
comes?
again.
yeah.
Well, definitely.
Same thing with animals, possibly. I mean, like,
I
you
do
die
not-
as an animal, and then what happens, right? But, yeah, so we can't speak for the author here, clearly, and I don't know that the author even necessarily wanted us to have, like, a focus.
No.
Surely.
This is
I'm just
definitely
saying,
meant to be
because
vague.
I'm saying, like, I think it is easy, and I also agree with you, but that's my one, like,
Well, and so that's
thing
my
that's
caveat.
keeping me
Like,
from getting on the train of just, like, fuck.
Here's the thing,
that could be torture for eternity or something.
if my options are, like, do another loop or just fucking chill forever, fucking chilling forever doesn't sound too bad.
But like...
But how do you know that it's chilling?
Traditional heaven is also eternal, and that's supposedly chilling.
Yeah,
Sure.
but don't you have to like suck Jesus' dick the whole time?
So that's in the Old Testament.
That's only in one translation.
Sorry, it's not in the Old Testament. Jesus is in the Old Testament, but it's before Vatican II. They changed that.
Right.
Vatican 2.0.
Yeah, John Paul, he was like, do we really have to suck? it
Actually, I
all
think
the
that's in
time?
the Queen,
Right,
the
yeah.
Queen James edition.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Also, James isn't a last name.
It's not. It's not, as I've been told, or not a common one. Anyway, that's a whole other story.
His first name was King. His last name was James. You heard it here first.
James, King.
Yeah. So give me the full why of why you're picking Eternal Nothingness.
Yes.
Well, I ultimately think that it's the off switch. But I mean, like
you're rolling the dice and you're hoping that's what it is.
Yeah.
You're hoping it's fucking dust is dust. I'm gone forever. The lights go out. Fucking
yeah,
cut it off. Yeah.
Sounds great.
It does sound great as a fellow nihilist. I am so scared of the possibility of eternal, like, of presence of being through this eternal nothingness.
Well, here's my shitty, solipsistic, fucking egotistical take on that, which is, if you're the only one in a void,
Well,
what are you then?
yeah, I mean, the keeper of the void. But I mean, easy.
Void keeper.
Yeah,
Duh.
softball.
I mean, also there is the argument to be made that like eternity implies that time has no meaning. You could take the good place argument.
That's a
which
good point.
is that like
Yeah.
time stops existing in an eternal vacuum, right? So like,
and
So it's like you're
it
feeling the
doesn't
passage of
mean
time
anything.
as existing as like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
like 1,000 years old because like it
you
no
would
longer is a
theoretically
thing.
have no concept of time.
That is actually super reassuring,
That's what I'm
and
saying,
I'm
yeah.
coming back around on the eternal nothingness.
This is kind of what I'm talking about. And I don't want to offer any spoilers for The Good Place, but like, if you've seen the ending, then like, this is kind of like, it ties in with what I'm trying to say about this.
Sure.
Right, yeah, it's all just Jeremy Bearimy is.
We're in the eye of the Jeremy Bear.
Right. Oh, damn. Probably need to do a rewatch of that show soon.
Oh, it's worth it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and so this was the thing that my parents told me when I would wake up in fucking night sweats as a very young child, like completely mortified by the idea of eternity and forever, because like that shit was something my 5-year-old head couldn't really wrap my head around. And I was like, why would I even want to go to heaven? This sounds fucking terrifying. And they'd be like, well, time doesn't, like, it's not gonna be the same. Like, you won't appreciate time.
You'll be stupid. You won't know.
Right, totally. You'll be too busy sucking Jesus' dick. It'll feel like a minute. Anywho, yeah, so...
Can't wait to suck Jesus' dick.
So, yeah, like, part of me, if I'm gonna go for an eternal thing, like, I think I'm going for the eternal... or the traditional heaven, because at least, like, maybe it's gonna be rad.
Hey, I mean...
I don't know enough about traditional heaven.
It depends on which religion you're choosing, but, like, yeah, if we're going for Christianity, like...
Yeah, you're running
If I get to fly around and bounce on clouds, like, if that's actually all it is, and, like, I am not...
Traditional Greek heaven?
Well, because I also thought, like, okay, dick sucking aside, I thought you were supposed to still, like... Don't you still have to, like, worship God while you're in fucking heaven?
I mean,
you get a harp, you get some wings, you get a spot on a cloud,
fuck around in heaven,
and then you sing songs about God for the rest of eternity.
The implication is that in heaven you would just inherently be worshipful of Jesus because you would feel so full of the love of Jesus. If we're talking about traditional Christian heaven, because this is my question about the traditional heaven one.
Well, and, like, which...
Do I get to go to Greek heaven? Do I get to go to, like, traditional Greek pantheon?
It does
like
say traditional.
Do I get
it
to go to
say
Valhalla?
Christian heaven.
It doesn't say Christian
It doesn't
heaven.
say Christian heaven.
Could I go to Greek heaven and just drink wine with Dionysus?
To the author's
forever?
credit, they did capitalize heaven.
Heaven. Okay, so heaven is like a
So
place.
I think maybe it's probably implied that it's like Christian
probably
Catholic
Christian.
heaven.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so if we're going to talk about traditional heaven, are we talking about fucking fire and brimstone heaven? Because that is a terrifying fucking place.
There's a fire and brimstone heaven?
Fill us in, because
Like-
I
I
don't.
thought that's
I
only if
legitimately
you went to
don't
hell.
know.
Angels are creatures that are, like, covered in fucking eyes.
No, yeah, I
Like,
know. Yeah, you went.
Heaven is...
I was fucking biblically accurate for Halloween, thank you.
Like, yeah, exactly. You know, like, it's
I'll drop
not-
the photo in the show notes.
Yeah.
It's an alternate dimension that is a fucking place filled with holy fucking light, and like the only people there, the only things there are God and the fucking angels, and they're just worshiping him all the time.
That doesn't sound like fire and brimstone, though. That sounds like
But I'm saying
a bright stars worth of fucking energy and light or
like
something.
if you look at what the angels did, all that they did was fucking murder. Like they fucking raised whole fucking civilizations in the name of the Lord. You know?
They were pretty violent for sure.
Has anyone
Heaven's
read
a scary place.
the book Lincoln in the Bardo?
No.
If you haven't, which it sounds like, well, read it. Matt got it for me for Christmas a couple years ago.
Okay.
And I don't want to give away too much, but it literally is about Tad Lincoln, who's Abraham Lincoln's son, who died of, I forget if he got sick or if he fell off a horse or some 1860s way to die.
Sure.
And dysentery.
Snake bite.
And he is in the cemetery talking to the other restless souls in the cemetery.
Okay.
And talking about like how at night like the angels come and try and convince the souls to like come with them into like the afterlife, which is what tickled my brain about what you were saying, is that like the angels come every day and try and convince these souls that are like lingering around that like you have to move on eventually, like you have to come with us eventually, and you end up going through like judgment eventually, like you're gonna come with us one way or the other, or you're gonna get stuck here in this weird limbo bardo place. Excellent book, 10 out of 10, would recommend.
Now,
Sorry for the sidebar.
Is this a true story?
It is technically historical fiction.
Right.
Because the part about Tad Lincoln dying It is true.
Are you telling me that Abraham Lincoln's son is dead?
I'm telling you that
I don't believe it.
Abraham Lincoln's son did
I
in
don't believe
fact
it.
die.
Did he not carry on the vampire killer legacy? Or
Well, I
vampire
think he
slayer
had
legacy?
multiple sons.
Okay.
I want to say him and Mary had like, I don't know, two sons.
He didn't want to join the family business.
He didn't want to join the family business.
vampire slaying.
You know, maybe that's how he died.
Oh,
Vampire got him.
That would make a lot of sense.
The vampire.
Heard the life expectancy in that career is not very long.
Anyway.
No. It
Sorry
doesn't.
for the derailing the conversation, but it tickled my brain. Speaking of how creepy heaven can be,
Yeah.
heaven in that book is creepy. I highly recommend reading it.
So are you going heaven?
Oh, no.
Okay,
I
you
don't
were just
think
asking
so.
questions about what it might be like if you picked heaven.
I am, and I've actually,
Smart.
I've had the privilege of thinking about this question a bit longer than y'all have, since I read it some 83 days ago. Yeah, thank you, Reddit. It tells me how old this post is. And honestly, like, I think I'm gonna have to land on rebirth, because as nihilistic as I am, I kind of like the idea of getting multiple cracks at it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get to at least keep coming back to the train station, ideally.
Okay, but question.
get
So,
that.
what do you think about, well, yeah, how are you thinking that they're
Okay.
defining rebirth? Are
So-
we going, like, karmic rebirth? Like,
Right. So I'm rolling.
can
I'm
you
rolling
be
the
a dung
dice.
beetle? Like, if,
I think
karma
you can.
says you were a piece of shit your life, you know?
I think
or
you
like,
can, and I think you're rolling the dice on it a little bit.
But I'm
right?
okay with being a dung beetle. I mean,
For what, 5 days or like the 10 days
That's
of
a
their
good
life
point. And then you're at the
expectancy?
train
Yeah.
station.
Yeah, then I'm back at the
'cause-
train
Wait,
station.
but question, are you at the train station with the fucking sentiency of a dung beetle at that point? How do you even make a decision on where you go from there? What does a dung beetle pick?
well, and
train-wise.
so ultimately, like, I feel like this is the crux of the biscuit, is that, like, you get one shot at this, and, like, who the fuck knows what happens after that. So, like, if you spin the wheel of Dharma again, like,
Right.
who the fuck knows? Maybe you end up in one of those 3 locations and you didn't have a choice.
But
on
you
it.
never remember that you're there when you are reborn. Like, in
Right.
theory, like, I guess there are maybe ways to, like, dip into that through, like, I don't know, eating some mushrooms or something. But, like,
Going to the train station, dude.
yeah, dude.
Actually, you should
totally.
subscribe to my newsletter, because
But I'm just saying, if you generally, like, have amnesia with each of these rebirths, like, how are you even the
Right.
same
So-
person at the train station?
Yeah,
every
so I'm
time,
taking
you
a
know?
chance. I'm taking a real chance. And like, I think I have to take that chance. And like, yeah, maybe whatever I come back as, like, isn't sentient or intelligent, and maybe I lose my soul on the way. But then at the end of the day, then that's just sort of like getting one more crack
exactly.
and then ending up with eternal nothingness anyway.
Yeah, and you never know. You might end up as a fucking house cat in Shelby's house, and, like, what could be better, you know?
Right, just swiping at all our legs.
Yes,
That cat's spoiled as hell.
yeah, can we actually talk about something really quick? Because that's actually a really interesting point of, like, rebirth and talking about how you can maybe get rebirthed as, like, a bunch of different things.
Right.
This brings to question, what does animals mean?
I would pick animals.
When Matthew first brought up the idea of fucking
Of animals.
animals, yeah, you were like, you had said something about, like, assuming that meant rebirth
Right.
into an animal.
Right.
And now that we've established rebirth, this probably means not just rebirthing as a human.
Oh, but I disagree.
I'm starting to wonder.
I disagree, because rebirth means that you, the person that you are reborn.
Right. So
Yeah,
like,
but so do you think rebirth means as the same person?
As a person. That's what I think.
so it's definitely not clear if it's like a karmic rebirth or if it's straight up like reincarnation.
And just your soul
Where-
could go into
yeah.
a goat. Nobody's like saying that,
True,
like,
true, but
wouldn't
this
work.
is why I believe why I hold this conceit about this particular question is just because animals is another category. So
Well, here's the thing.
if rebirth as an animal
This
is an
is why I
option, would
chose
it not be in
animals.
that one?
This is why I chose animals. Because there are two options for what animals could mean in my head. One, it could mean I am reborn as an animal. Roll the dice on which one. I don't care.
Sure.
Right.
I am assuming that it would be an animal with some form of brain. But who
so you're
knows?
assuming you're becoming an animal.
I am assuming I am being reborn as an animal.
What is
into the realm
to
of an
say
animal.
that
Let's
animals doesn't mean that you aren't just showing up in animal fucking heaven.
Oh, like the
where
rainbow
there's
bridge.
Shit.
animals
Let's
everywhere.
dig down on
This was my other
because
thing.
I am
was
here
like,
for this.
either that means I get reborn as an animal and it's basically rebirth, but not as a human, or I get to go to animals heaven.
Holy fucking shit, you guys.
I mean,
'Cause, like,
I don't know how I feel about animals heaven. I don't know how it's structured.
I would
have
kill
so many
myself
questions.
now if I knew I got to go to cat
Either
heaven. Are you
fucking-
kidding?
Well, okay, so can I
Way.
pick a certain animal? Because cat heaven's
All
rad. I'm
animals
not
go
looking
to
to
the
go
same
to
heaven.
fucking like shark heaven. I don't know.
just
Oh,
in
yeah, alright. Alright.
They're just
Shark
okay.
heaven's not really where I'm at either.
Yeah, no.
Giraffe
No.
heaven?
I
Tight.
picture animal heaven as just an ideal version of Earth.
Oh, Earth without people?
Earth without people.
Shit.
Well,
Except for the other
until
people who
now.
picked this.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
until now, and
but, like,
Shelby's
we're-
fucking
Oh my
it
God,
up.
you
But
guys.
we're just soul people, right? We're not like real human people with human problems.
It doesn't
on
say,
a planet.
but you assumed rebirth. You assumed you got rebirthed in
But
something.
like,
So now why are you
we're all
assuming that
making
you're not
assumptions
rebirthed?
because, like, okay, but
Jesus.
I'm rolling with this. Like, if we go to animal heaven,
The first
right?
butterfly you step on, Shelby, like
you
it's
can't
all
step on
fucking
them. They're
over.
dead. They're just souls. They're in heaven.
Oh, that's
Man.
a good point.
We're in
yeah,
animal
that's true.
heaven.
You're not on Earth anymore.
We're
Okay,
not. We're not
all right.
physical anymore. Really, we're just pretending.
This
So
is
for me,
true.
I'm like animal
Dude.
heaven is just like an ideal version of Earth, where
And-
like no one has to eat each other.
Yeah, I guess honestly, if I don't have to
Yeah.
be worried about the animals harming me,
Unless it's a farm upstate.
animal heaven.
Animal heaven in my head is just a version of Earth where all of their environments are in perfect condition and they don't have to worry about food or going hungry or dying. That's
Right.
it. That's animal heaven.
Yeah,
Do you
I
guys-
forgot that I don't have to worry about dying. That
You
makes
don't have to worry
animal
about dying,
heaven
you're
way
already
less
dead.
scary.
But
That actually
So-
seems like not that scary then.
Also, if it means I get rebirthed as an animal and either rebirthed as an animal or just my soul is just put into an animal somewhere, I don't give a shit.
Okay,
I'm
but
rolling dice.
that's what sketches me out because I definitely am not on board to be reborn as an animal.
I don't even care.
I'm out on that.
Oh, give me.
I'd be fine with it.
Yeah,
I'd
me
be
too.
fine with
Hold
it.
on, here's a third scenario for animals. What if you...
Can I just say jellyfish heaven? Fuck yeah.
Ooh, that'd probably be alright.
There's also
Jellyfish heaven is just
I'd fuck with
eternal
jellyfish
void.
heaven.
well, there's a Dead Milkman song that you should all listen to called Jellyfish Heaven.
Ooh,
You're
nice.
welcome.
Alright.
Dude, okay, if I can take Eternal Void but be a jellyfish, I think I'd take it.
Jellyfish
right
heaven
now.
is just eternal void.
That's fucking deep.
Because a
I'd much rather do it as a
for
jellyfish than in
jellyfish
this dome
is
if I
just
gotta do eternal
floating
fucking nothingness.
in a three-dimensional void forever.
Yep. Done.
Alright, third scenario for animals, though.
Yeah.
What if it is animal heaven, but you're a human and you don't belong there and you're just food for the animals?
Yeah, but you're already dead.
Yeah, but what if you
Is
just...
it like hell where you can just like
You're just getting...
re-die every day?
Yeah, you're just getting shark attacked over and over again.
Oh, so you're in hippie hell.
Yeah, dude.
Sick.
This is what you get for not going vegan.
I still think it'd be interesting enough to take it.
see?
I'd be like, you know what? That's interesting
Look,
enough.
And that's the
Ugh.
fun of this question is every single one of these is a die roll because you're just like, I don't know.
We don't know. I'd rolled the die. I'm just saying, when you read this question, the reason I picked my answer is because you read the question, you read the options, and my soul inside of my body said animals.
Yep.
That's the one.
And that's what you should do.
Dude,
If
and
I-
even if it's just the Pink Floyd album for eternity,
I'm in for it.
Okay,
Whatever.
Yeah, my official thing, I actually got talked into it. I think I'm going animals because I either get to hang out in animal heaven, but even if I get reborn as an animal, I like what Nate said about being able to fucking get back to the train station anyway. So, like, maybe that gives me another shot to even do another animal thing or make a different decision or something.
Yeah, I'm
So,
all
like-
about getting another crack at it.
Yeah.
Because then you...
But I don't think you need rebirth to do that if you pick animals. I'll just,
No.
like, run the course of whatever animals means, and it'll either be an animal heaven and, like, it'll be chill.
what happens if you just kick it in the train station and try to spange for a while?
You're just, like, busking in the fucking train station.
Being in the train
Yeah.
station.
I mean, yeah, I hope I died with a hat on so I can set that down to fucking collect some dollar bills.
Just, whistle and clap for a little while?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Whatever you got.
Yeah, singing Tom Waits covers because I don't have a
yeah,
fucking guitar or anything. All right, so I think we probably run the course on this question. Do we have any wrap up discussion on this, or shall we move on to the next one?
Should we reiterate what we all final
So yeah,
decision picked?
just for clarity. So eternal nothingness. for Matthew.
Eternal nothingness or jellyfish heaven, which apparently Shelby argues is the same thing.
Yeah. So yeah, man, if jellyfish heaven is an option,
Which,
it's pretty
yeah,
hard
and
to
I think
tell.
I landed on Rebirth, and Ricky.
I think sorry. Overall, I think I would land on animals because I think the gamble is worth it. I think you bring up like a scary scenario, but like I think the gamble on animals is going to end up being what I'm looking for.
I think it's a fair gamble. And
I
that
just
would probably
don't think
be
science backs up that animal heaven would be hunting humans. I just don't think that that's.
But what about animal hell?
Or
We didn't even talk about animal hell.
But it
Yeah,
doesn't.
but you're going to heaven, so like it's a moot point.
A farm.
You get to heaven.
Downstate.
Farm down.
oh god,
A factory farm.
What's the opposite of the Rainbow Bridge?
oh god,
That's a really good
The
question.
rainbow.
No, all animals go
manhole.
to heaven.
The sludge.
All animals
The
go to
grayscale
heaven.
The desaturated.
the grayscale
bridge.
tunnel.
All animals
The
go to
sepia
heaven
bridge.
because they have not burdened themselves with the concepts of sin. So
Right.
all animals go to heaven.
Yeah.
Dude, except for
I mean,
dolphins and otters, you guys.
Don Bluth at least
No, they
argues
just
that
have
all
no
dogs
concept
go
of
to
right
heaven,
and wrong,
so
so
I
it
think we
doesn't
can
matter.
extrapolate from there.
That's very fair.
right? It is all dogs.
But you're right.
Okay.
My final answer is animals.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Hey,
All right. That was fun.
Animals.
See you in
at least we
animal
covered
heaven.
all the
See you in
bases
animal
here.
heaven.
Yeah, totally. Not surprisingly, no one picked traditional heaven.
Oh, I guess we
Not
that's right, we
surprisingly
didn't cover
for
all the
this
bases.
table.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, fuck, dude, it sounds pretty heavy metal, but like, I'm more of a Buddhist. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, the halo is probably not going to match any of my outfits anyway, so.
No, you wear mostly
No.
black.
Like
Yeah.
bouncing on clouds and flying around sounds pretty rad, but like it'd probably be pretty boring. And like the rest of traditional heaven sounds like fucking boring.
The music would
I
be
don't
lame.
know.
Yeah. I mean, Jimmy.
And it sounds like a lot. Like I'd rather just float through nothingness and like not have to fucking go to mass on fucking Sunday. Or whatever the fuck, you know? Like Jesus. Just,
well, all the
like,
good
leave
musicians
me
are in hell
be.
anyway, so
Yeah.
like,
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah, if traditional hell was an option. Like, maybe.
surfing on the lake of fire, hanging 10, dude.
It should be
Shit.
fun.
All right. On to the next question. This is also one I found on Reddit 6 months ago.
For the user.
Shout out to user the Forever Alone One for posing this question. So, you're cursed with the ability to see ghosts, but you can only see either A, sexy ghosts that are constantly trying to get you hard at all times, or I'll change this, that are trying to get you turned on at all
Look,
times.
Everyone gets hard. It
That's
just
true.
is
Yeah.
a different organ that's or like bit that's getting hard. Everyone gets hard.
Thank you for clarifying that.
They also do clarify that you can't feel anything because they're ghosts. So, like, they can't literally tickle, your parts or whatever.
Oh.
So,
But their sexiness is what's getting you hard.
right, and they're trying to turn you on the whole time. They're trying to get you hard.
But they can't like get you off because like they're ghosts.
right, they're ghosts.
Gotcha.
Can't touch you, but they can do other things.
Right, yeah, they could fucking sing sultry fucking Jessica Rabbit songs to you or something. Anyway,
Sing
She's
not-
She's not bad, she's drawn that way.
it's fucking true. Or B. Smart ghosts that always correct you in a condescending way to make you feel stupid. Which version of ghosts would you be plagued with?
Wow.
Wait. So, question: is it what I feel like I would be plagued with because of what would be shittiest for me, or is it what I would pick?
Well, so you get a choice.
I get to just pick.
You're
the
cursed with
ghosts?
the ability to see ghosts, but you can only see either the sexy ghosts or the smart ghosts that are super condescending.
Dude, a sexy ghost. I feel like this is like fucking
Free porn? That's a no-brainer.
right. And like, so what if they can't get you off? You can just go like jack off or have sex
Well, you-
or do whatever as a fucking fleshy being.
You could. I find that like both of these are going to be super annoying, and it's going to like plague you at certain times
Yeah,
when
but
you're
I
just
already
like,
have-
dude,
Okay, but here's
really
the
not
thing.
trying to get a boner right now. I gotta focus here. Like,
Baseball. Dead puppies.
Here's the thing. Outside of COVID, I already had like fucking teenagers on TriMet fucking being condescending and bullying to me. I
feel
don't
like
know that I need, like...
I feel like the context of this question is going to be different for, like, male-presenting people and female-presenting people, because we already deal with assholes who think they're smarter than us on a regular basis, trying to make us feel stupid.
I'm not trying to get ghost-flamed
I'm not
here.
trying to get ghost-flamed. In addition to the multiple people I deal with as a manager in customer service who's a woman on a regular basis who are like, you just don't understand the mask policy.
But what if it's like, you know, fucking lady ghosts who are also just like...
That's not better.
Oh, honey.
Oh, hun.
So,
Sweetheart.
so I have a question. And I don't know that we have the answer, but let's throw it out there. Would they be able to answer any question that you have? If they're the smart ghost.
So this is my question also, right? The
So
smart
they're like
ghost...
a shit about it, but
So
they
they're
still give you
annoying.
the answer.
They're annoying, but they're smart, and like you can be like, hey, okay, well, I know you're gonna be like
A dick about
you
this.
fucking you're gonna be a dick about it, but like if I need to know like how to cook something or how to like repair this fucking plumbing in my house or something like
that's a good
you know,
point.
because
That's
here's
a
the
good
other
point.
thing, right? The sexy ghosts, they may be sexy, but they're also going to be super annoying, and this does not say that they're good at turning you on. They're trying. It says they are trying to turn you on.
You like that, bitch?
I actually found a
Or also like
hole in my
catcalling,
shit.
right?
Yeah.
Like, hey baby, hey baby.
I mean, I feel
Why
like
don't
it'd
you
be
come over
better
here?
at
Why don't you come
ignoring
over here? Like, those dudes think they're trying to turn on fucking someone, but like they're not. They're fucking annoying. Like,
Okay, even worse though, coming from the Shining perspective, surprising no one here.
yeah, I want the Shining
Okay,
perspective.
so
Yeah.
nobody said that the ghosts were actually
Actually
sexy.
sexy.
Okay, so
Oh.
like if we're talking about like the spoilers if you haven't seen The Shining, but like Jesus Christ,
Oh my
what are you
God.
doing? Fucking yeah, when like Jack goes into room 237 and sees the sexy lady in the fucking bathtub and then she turns all gross, that's like, okay, assuming that's like a ghost ability and trait, it's like just because they're posing sexy, maybe even naked ghosts, are they decrepit? Are they falling apart? Is this ghost like 95? Like, just because they're trying to turn me on doesn't mean that I just don't have like nasty fucking creepy icky
Yeah.
ghosts just like swarming me, like specifically trying to turn me on
Well,
all
this
day.
is-
So
this
that
is
could
the
get
thing,
kind
right?
of weird.
I mean, it does say sexy ghost, so I'm assuming that they're sexy ghosts. Maybe their jaw's falling off, but they have big titties. Maybe
He's like also like molding and like fucking like
Right.
angry.
Only if you
like,
think that's sexy.
yeah.
Well, so is that the thing?
Read-
Like, are
read
they
the
only
question
guests? Yeah, are they only ghosts that
What does
I
it
think are
say?
sexy?
Specific.
It says sexy ghosts that are constantly trying to get you hard at all times. So
So it's implying that they are sexy.
it's implying that they are
and
sexy.
like bodies falling apart ghosts aren't very sexy.
No.
So if we're doing the rules of like you look in ghost life however you died, we're talking like the ghosts that died in really like the ghosts that OD'd on pills.
Yeah, like
are
Marilyn
the
Monroe's
ghosts that
gonna be
I'm
a sexy
seeing.
ghost.
Like had
Yeah.
like strangely had a stroke while having sex.
Yeah,
or, you know,
right.
like-
Yeah. So yeah, someone that or died in their sleep, had a
Yeah.
fucking like brain aneurysm, whatever. Like those are the ghosts I'm seeing, not like ghost
Well,
that wasn't found in their apartment for 12 days,
And-
and then that's the state that they're ghosting in.
like these are the interesting questions, like determining ghost rules, right? Because you know there are some rule sets that say that like the ghost form looks kind of how the person died. There are some that it's like more a soul and an embodiment of the person. So like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a level 6 free floating vapor, then you know it's just gonna fucking slime you. But
Yes. Right. Yeah. If we're going by Ghostbusters rules,
Green slime titties.
Right, totally.
Are they sexy?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different versions of ghosts. If we're even going with shining ghosts, they can change form. They can present sexy, and then suddenly you're hugging a decomposing body.
What happens if like all of a sudden I'm just like sitting there watching Netflix and some ghost is like dancing up on me, and then like they just like fall apart into like a pile of fucking ectoplasm all over me. Am I just like dealing with that?
Is that going to make you horny? Their goal is to get you hot, right?
Yeah, but like, are they learning? Are they learning what makes me hot as they go?
Would.
Yeah, so like if they're trying to get better at it, then maybe they learn not to do that.
What does it say about the smart ghosts?
Give me these
options sound awful to me, and I'm trying to decide which one sounds
honestly, this
awful.
is like.
What are the pros? What's the pros column for the smart ghosts?
I'm a lot more interested in what the smart ghosts have to say.
Does it say that they're like that they will talk to you about like? Read it again.
Okay.
Yeah. Will they answer my questions, or are they just gonna be addicted?
So once again, it's sexy ghosts that are constantly trying to get you hard at all times, or B, smart ghosts that always correct you in a condescending way and make you feel stupid.
Oh, but they're correcting you, so
yeah. So
you
like,
at least know
you'll
you're
never
always
get
being
anything
accurate,
wrong with
probably,
those
right?
assholes.
And also,
That's a good point.
You also bring up a good point too with the Netflix. So the smart ghosts will probably just leave you alone when you're watching Netflix, unless they're trying to nudge you and be like,
"You're watching
something stupid.
Yeah,
jeez,
like,
I mean, like, how are they going to correct?
You're
rewatching
rewatching Community again? Are you kidding me?
And I mean, that would be annoying, but like if like really they're just going to correct you on everything, then like.
But yeah, if I'm trying to like watch The Godfather and these ghosts are like giving me lap dances, and I'm like, come on,
don't you?
That does sound annoying.
Think about which one would be harder to ignore. Would it be harder to ignore a spiritual lap dance that you cannot feel but can only see?
Right.
Theoretically, through them, you can see the TV because they're not really like
Yeah, can I pop on the Oculus and then I can like? Is that like ghost free?
Theoretically,
I'll wrap it in like tinfoil.
I
don't know,
the
whatever.
movie through a ghost. So the question is, which is going? Here's the base question that you have to answer: is which one would be easiest to ignore in your day-to-day life?
Right, just like day-to-day shit.
Yeah, is it easier to ignore a ghost that is ineffectually trying to turn you on by probably saying stupid shit to you, but you can't feel anything that they're doing to you, right? Like they're incorporeal.
Jiggling and saying things.
Right, so they're going to be jiggling, undulating, saying things.
And if you're teaching them things, you can maybe teach them, like, I like it when nobody says anything to me.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Sits in the other room.
You know what that turns me on? Silence.
Just train the ghost. Every time you can get it to go in another room and chill out, you just masturbate. And you're like, yeah,
you know
this
what?
is doing it
hot.
for me. It's doing it.
You know
Oh my
what
god, yeah,
fucking
keep staying out of the room.
You know what fucking does it for me? Someone who just fucking doesn't acknowledge
Oh god, like an idiocracy.
If you just ghost me, if you actually just literally ghost me all day, that will get me so hot.
That'll get me so
Ghost
wet.
Dom, like, fucking, oh, that's great.
Or someone who's sitting there next to you on the couch while you're watching a movie being like, do you actually enjoy this? We could watch a documentary for once. When was the last time you watched the news?
But also, like, pick the right news, because
Also, like,
most of that stuff is biased.
Yeah, you know this director.
Did you
works
know
with
this
costume
director?
designer that has been canceled? Right?
But
Did you know Viggo Mortensen broke his toe when he kicked that helmet? You didn't? Are you even a real fan of Lord of the Rings?
Oh boy, I definitely
I
don't
can't handle
want.
that.
I
So I
definitely
think
don't
I
want
switched back.
Shelby
I'm
ghost.
like,
Which
going
would be
fucking
hard?
sexy
You
ghost.
wouldn't.
I'm just gonna
See,
Yeah.
here's the
Sexy
thing.
ghost, I think.
I'd be the obnoxious, smart ghost, and I want to be the sexy ghost, but I know I'd be the one that's like...
We all want to be
Really?
the sexy ghost,
Right.
right?
We all know we'd be the obnoxious one. And so, like, which one would be easiest to ignore? And for me, I feel like it would be easier for me to ignore sexy ghost. Ghost trying to be sexy. Than it would be for me to ignore a ghost who's sitting next to me all day going like,
Well,
are you
sure, but like if I want to be a bank robber,
Is that
Like,
what you want to do?
all I gotta do is get this ghost to fuck. I'm like,
Oh,
so
you wanna be a bank
is this
robber?
It? No, that's not it. Okay, like where do I? Is this combination right? No,
Really?
like what is the combination then? Like fucking.
Do you know? You don't know what the combination is?
No, because I'm an idiot.
You don't know what it is?
If I were
You
a
didn't
ghost,
think to crack a fucking book on lockpicking before you
supposed to correct me, though.
decided to like rob
I'm like,
a
is
bank.
this it? No.
No, that's not
This
it.
is it.
There's literally 100,000 different combinations of numbers, and you're wrong about all of them.
So correct me. You're the correcting ghost.
It does
just
say
gonna
it
tell
does
you
say
that
that they're
I'm
wrong. All you're
that
doing
they
is
always
annoying me.
correct you, and they're just really condescending about that.
Thank you.
So I don't know if they're necessarily like naggy, if they're just hovering around you all the time and just like nitpicking your choices. And
I
stuff.
really think there's a way to hack
Ghost.
this, where like you just bumble your way through everything.
Can you imagine
oh, that's
trying
a good,
to play
yeah, if they're
any...
not
okay,
poltergeists,
but
it might
here's
just
the
be if
thing.
you encounter one in an abandoned building, they're just like a dick to you,
Can you
or they're
imagine
trying to like fuck
playing
you or
a
whatever.
board game? We play a lot of board games in this house. Can you imagine playing a board game and having a voice in your ear every time you make a move just go, ooh.
Sure, but fucking run with me on this.
But is your
Run
house
with me on
haunted?
this.
Yeah,
If your
actually-
house isn't haunted, I don't see you even having a ghost in here.
No,
you
actually,
know?
I'm kind of feeling that because I'm gonna go like probably play Magic again someday in the real
Right.
world, and then if I got a ghost being like, oh,
That's
dude,
what I'm
don't,
saying.
Don't play that mountain, dude.
Right.
Like, no, oh, God, you're a fucking idiot.
So yeah, even if he's a dick to you about it, you're
Right,
like
yeah,
doing
yeah,
better.
like, yeah,
It's like, all right. I mean, I get you.
Every time you have a decision tree, you just kind of nod to your ghost and be like, "Is this the one?" He's like, "You fucking asshole! No, it's that one."
It also isn't
Cool.
clear if it is like you did bring up a point of like I don't know if it's ghosts just following you around, attached to you, or if it's just like when you encounter them.
Because it just says
Yeah,
you
but,
can
like,
see ghosts, and
can
like
see
in
them.
other rules of ghosts, they end up having to stay like where they died
a good
until they
point.
can like deal with their
Right, so like if your own
transgressions or
house
whatever the
isn't
issue
haunted
is.
or
Yeah.
fucking whatever,
then
then
like,
like
this probably won't even come
your
up.
day to day is probably fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's
They're
just when
gonna
you
come
like
up
go out in the world and
once
then
in a
it's
while.
like, and this is why. So definitively, I'm picking the smart ghosts because I don't need to just be out in the world trying to get my shit done and having like ghosts trying to like turn me
Yeah, I
on.
think
And that's just
okay, now that
come
we
on, like,
established more
get
ghost
outta
rules
here.
that are likely, I know we don't have the power to actually establish the ghost rules, but I'm on this.
we did
train.
not get a guidebook.
So I switched back again. I switched for like the 12th time. I'm back on smart ghosts. I agree. Yeah, if I'm not gonna encounter them most of the time, it's almost gonna be like one of those times in a video game where you're like, oh shit, I got a fucking NPC that I can like ask some questions
Right.
of and
Yeah.
shit. I'm just like,
Yeah.
sick. This is actually like really
The
fortuitous.
Oracle
Like,
ghost?
yeah, right.
Yeah,
I'm just
who's
like
just condescending.
Yeah, you just strike up a conversation and they're like a dick to you, but maybe you can
I
gain
love
some
those
info.
NPCs
Yeah,
in
it's
video
great.
games when they are like
They're the
really,
best.
really informative but kind of dickish about
Just
it.
such
You're
dicks,
kinda like,
yeah.
all right, well, you didn't have to be a dick about it.
Yeah, right.
But I do appreciate your information.
Right.
Great writing, absolutely.
The one thing that I was gonna say on this was if I were a ghost, because we were just like saying what kind of ghost we'd be. If I were a ghost, I'd be the kind where you go into the bathroom and like turn off all the lights and you say red rum in front of the mirror 3 times, and I tell you like 5 facts about the Shining that like you did not ask for.
But the 5th one is
I'm just like, did you know that Rob Punter hand painted all of the tiles in the gold ballroom, and he was the same guy that also gilded C-3PO and fucking the staff of Ra and a bunch of fucking not Shazam.
And, but then your
other
5th
guy.
fact is your gripe about like if you watch Doctor Sleep, the fucking
Oh,
stairs
yeah,
aren't.
the
in-
fucking stairs are missing. If anyone listening can get a hold of Mike Flanagan, I have some really
Questions.
serious questions to ask this man.
I guess I'll pick Smart Ghost. It's both equally obnoxious to me, and I guess I'd rather have smart obnoxious.
I think we're all agreed.
Right, like either way, it's obnoxious.
Either way, it's obnoxious.
But I feel like I could at least tailor the smart ghost to
I
help
also
me
feel
out.
like I feel like thinking about it, the sexy ghost would be more invasive, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I'm definitely not looking.
Like it might
Yeah.
be like
I'm not excited about.
it might
that
even be
by
fun
any
and
means.
flattering at first, but there will reach a time where you're just like, dude, I'm so sick of this
Yeah.
fucking ghost.
Right.
Just can you
Just
go
like
away?
putting their
Yeah.
booty like in my shit, just trying to like.
No, once we
Yeah.
establish like ghosts weren't necessarily going to be just like all the time, probably smart ghosting better.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Nice. All right. Well, shout out to that fucking question.
Oh yeah.
That was a good
All right.
one. That was a hard
All
one.
right. We're gonna do the last one here. As is tradition, we're gonna do another Chuck Klosterman one. We probably don't have too many more of these to do because, yeah, again, sometimes like we weed out like the weird classist questions like a money situation and stuff. So
Right.
there are a number of those. Anyway, But I thought this one was pretty silly. Okay, so someone builds an optical portal that allows you to see a vision of your own life in the future. It's essentially a crystal ball that shows a randomly selected image of what your life will be like in 20 years. You can only see into this portal for 30 seconds. When you finally peer into the crystal, you see yourself in a living room 2 decades older than you are today. You're watching a Canadian football game, and you're extremely happy. You're wearing a Canadian Football League, CFL, jersey. Your chair is surrounded by books and magazines that promote the CFL. And there are CFL pennants covering your walls. You're alone in the room, but you are gleefully muttering about the historical moments in Canadian football history. It becomes clear that, for some unknown reason, you've become obsessed with Canadian football. And this future is static and absolute. No matter what you do, this future will happen. The optical portal is never wrong. This destiny cannot be changed. The next day, you're flipping through channel... Okay, sorry. The next day, you're flipping through television channels and randomly come across a preseason CFL game between the Toronto Argonauts and the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Knowing your inevitable future, do you now watch it?
I'm like, what the fuck is the question here? And then I'm like, that's a fucking question? Wow.
Yeah. So, basically, like... You see a future for yourself that is absurd.
Yeah.
And do you basically
do you lean into it?
So you are apparently happy.
Yeah, you look happy.
So yeah, do you lean into it, or do you try and be like, I really don't want to be a CFL fucking diehard fan?
Okay, but the Oracle's never wrong.
It is what it says. It says the Oracle is never wrong.
Unless you're in one of those, like, YA fucking adventure movies where you're the special one that gets to break out of the mold.
Right.
And you're gonna destroy the Oracle. Unlikely.
And
I'm the main character.
And I feel like human, like, kind of willpower and also self-centeredness probably, like, makes you think, like, no, like, I will defeat this future. Like, I will get out of this future somehow.
I don't know. Also, the question boils down to, do you watch, like, a sports game? I think I watched the sports game.
Yeah.
You know?
At the very least.
I mean, if that's
curious,
all
you know?
the question really boils down to is, like, do you watch it?
I guess.
I don't think I fight. I don't think I'm angry enough about this. If I was happy in the vision,
I guess
I don't
also,
think I'm mad enough.
At least
to
until
not
the
watch
first commercial,
game.
right? I mean, like,
I'll
how much
watch
of a sacrifice
the whole thing.
is that?
Fuck, I'll at least give it. It's like, man, if I really like it, I better at least just see what it's all about. I know nothing really about.
Right, and just
any
because
of
you
that.
seem happy, you also seem like an obsessive, and you're alone. So, like,
So maybe some other things went wrong.
yeah, right? Like, you're definitely
I'm
an
not-
obsessive person at this point over this thing.
That's just one room in your house, though. Maybe it's just your special soccer room.
Yeah.
Sports fans have those. They have
do.
a room that's dedicated
Right.
to sports, so the rest of their family
Well,
doesn't
At
give a shit
first,
about
I wondered
it.
if maybe my
Doesn't have to
spouse
deal with
was
sports.
into fucking, or like whoever I was with in the house. I mean, because I didn't really want to just assume that you were the one that was going crazy, Nate. So whoever I'm with in this scenario 20 years from now, maybe they were into it. But the fact that I'm muttering a bunch of statistics to myself or whatever makes it definitely feel
Yeah.
like it's not.
Right.
I'm not peering in and being like, oh, I'm just in someone else's house that's really excited. It sounds like I probably am the one that's like.
No, you've gone deep. You've gone
Looks like you
deep.
probably.
And yeah, you look happy, but like, who? At
feel
what
like-
cost?
I feel like there's a layer here where, like, it's kind of like trying to push people in a direction, like how much they love sports. So, like, if you just don't like sports, you're going to be someone who's going to say, well, I would try to avoid watching those games as long as I can because, like, eventually I'm just going to be fucking watching them all the time. So, like, why start now? You know? And
Well,
then,
right. And so, like, I read this too as like, it couldn't, like, it doesn't even have to be sports. It could be any sort of fandom, right? And it's more of like, you see a future for yourself where you've become like some obsessive like fan of something. that's kind of like weird and like really kind of like
esoteric,
off the fucking radar, right? Like if it was like literally if it was NFL, it was like, all right, that's believable. Like I just got into the NFL because it's pretty popular, but the CFL, it's like fucking weird.
Is Canadian Football League American football or is it soccer?
It's American football.
Oh, I was picturing soccer.
No. It's American football.
It's American football in Canada. Yeah.
Yep, totally.
So then you have to wonder, like, where did this, like,
this is a different level of weird.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, people get weird about soccer.
No.
Oh, no, I mean, like, if it was NFL or soccer, like,
well, because every other country in the world calls soccer football.
Yeah.
So
right.
I was picturing, like, soccer, not Canadians playing American football.
It's just Canada and America and the U.S. that call it soccer.
Interesting.
And not to, like, dive too far off the track here, but it's because it used to be called associated football, which, because of parlance of the time, was eventually shortened to soccer.
Oh, because it's usually like ASSOC can be associated, but if you if you kick that A
soccer
off,
football, and like why keep leaving the football on there? It's just soccer.
I have no fucking idea.
That's wild.
Because it was the actual official football, so it was associated football.
Wow. Okay, I had no idea.
So it just got shortened to soccer because that's the real one.
Well, that makes sense.
Well, we learned some
But
new
then
things today.
eventually things changed, and we have an NFL.
So I think the question is really just saying like, all right, you're gonna become this obsessive person and someone you don't recognize. Like, how much do you want to even delay it? Even if you do accept that, like, the future is inevitable, right? Like, okay, I guess I have no choice. I know 20 years from now I'm going to become this person I don't recognize. But literally the next day, like, feels like the start of that. And it's like, do I lean into it or do I try and reject it for as long as humanly possible?
Well,
and I guess I get there eventually, but, like, God, I don't want to become that person, like, today.
Well, what if it turns out that you watch that first game and you're like, I actually enjoyed this more than I thought.
And that's the thing, right?
And like, so I'm just like, I guess also just asking the question, like, so what if you find a thing that it turns out you liked that like previous you thought you'd never like, but you gave it a shot and you're like, I like this a lot more than I thought I would.
Can we talk about how
maybe it's okay?
This stipulates that you would be flipping through channels.
That is an absolute impossibility in my house right now. So that is
I would never do that.
Right.
I mean, but let's say maybe
unless I'm in a hotel or
let's say you like are staying in a hotel and like you're waiting for.
But okay, here's my deal,
or
right?
food to be
This is
delivered
how
or
I
something.
feel about this question. My answer is I would. I'd fucking watch the game
Yeah.
out of sheer curiosity.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I would at least watch it because I want to know. Like,
Because here's the thing.
maybe I have a good time. I don't know.
Does
I wanna
any
know
of
what it's
us
about.
recognize if 20 years ago ourselves, which I'm 30, so 20 years ago me was 10, so like let's take that with a fucking grain of salt. But like, does any one of us, if our 20 years ago self was teleported to this room right now for 30 seconds, would they recognize us? No.
Right.
Like, no, they wouldn't.
Actually,
would they have
I had an
any
acid trip that
would
foretold
they have
this moment,
any
so-
context about what our
I know
actual
all about
life
this
was
shit.
like based on this? Okay, let's say 20 years ago, us teleported into this exact room right here for 30 fucking seconds. Would they have any context about what our actual life was like? Because what we're doing is sitting in a circle around a microphone talking about nonsense.
So, right. Which,
And I mean, 20 years ago I was 10, so I'm sitting at a table with a bunch of adults.
Around
like,
this
yeah.
looks
this
like
would be a funny moment to drop into, or like drop into a moment of talking about a hypothetical situation of obsessing over the CFL.
yeah.
Now, this is interesting because when I was 20, if I had peered into this crystal ball, I would have actually seen something very similar to this card. I might have peered into a moment where I'm literally wearing a Magic the Gathering hoodie with a Magic Gathering poster on the wall, sorting Magic the Gathering cards.
Yep. Yes.
And I'd be like, no, don't turn into this person.
Just because.
Dude, yes. Like, that is exactly what would have happened if that had happened with me. Yeah.
You are like interested in something, and just because you are alone in that moment does not mean you are alone in your life.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
And you are happy.
You're only getting a 30-second view of this.
You're only getting a 30-second view of this. I'd watch the football game. Maybe I'm like, this is my new... For some reason, clearly, something about Canadian Football League triggered in me a deep passion. And when I think about the other things that have triggered in me a deep passion, have I gotten obsessive about them? Yeah, I have a Gondorian flag and an elven flag.
I'm going to ask you to pound it. There it is.
I have a map of Gondor and Rohan that's beautiful. It's embossed. I've read Lord of the Rings. I think I stopped counting.
Can you go toe to toe with
times.
fucking Stephen Colbert?
No, he's got me beat. He read the Silmarillion.
Also, sidebar, why have we not played Lord of the Rings Risk yet?
Because the map is inaccurate and I'll be angry the whole time.
Boo! Okay.
I'll play it, I'll do it, but I'm gonna bitch about it the whole time.
That's
So
fair.
you're gonna be the ghost in my fucking ear, just like
I'm
bitching
gonna
at
be
me
like,
about the inaccurate.
they put Dunland north of the Shire.
You know what,
Fuck
Shelby?
these people. Fuck this map.
I might not agree with you, but god damn it, do I respect you.
The map is in the front of the book.
Yeah.
It is disappointing when someone's given an actual
There's
blueprint and they fuck it
source
up.
material.
That's how I feel about the Watchmen
So-
movie. It's like you were given a fucking
It's
not wrong.
storyboard
You're not wrong.
and you still fucked up the ending.
That being
Like,
said, I
thank
will
you.
fuck up a game of Lord of the Rings Risk with you. I'll lose, but I'll play it. It's
Do
super
it.
fun. You are going to have to listen to my nerdiness come
So
out.
this is actually what I want. I actually want to spend 6 hours playing this game with you, and you can talk to me about all these
You're
territories.
going to hear me go, they would never put a fortress there.
Yeah.
My shoulder goes, Shelby. I'm
No.
very excited about
And
it.
this is great.
And
This is
in Gondor? I think not.
I think not. There are no ancient forests near Gondor, thank you. Go back to your source material, Mattel, okay?
I fucking love what you said though. Like if me as a 22-year-old fucking hippie raver had been shown a vision of me at a fucking GP, like just housing some fucking scrubs in a draft, like
Right.
just being like fucking one after another. Where's my fucking tickets, boys? Like, you know, I'd be like, what is this fucking
happened to me?
Play
What
mat.
happened
You
to
got
me?
like a play
Right?
mat with like a coordinated box
Yes,
situation.
exactly. I'd be like, what the fuck is this nerd doing? Because the crazy thing is, back when I was going to rainbow gatherings, like, some dudes played Magic with me. And
sure.
they're
Of
like,
course they did.
bro, like, I mean, yeah, this is fun, but like, you don't want to get into this. It's an addiction. It's gonna
So
take
what
all
you're
your
telling
money,
me is you
know?
watch
Much like
the
Canadian
fucking
football.
football game.
Literally what I'm
Yeah.
telling you. Yes. Like,
So you
I
did
fucking,
watch the football
I
game,
went-
and here you are.
I went full on Kwisatz Haderach on a fucking acid trip. Saw this path and fucking chose it.
I'm just saying. Yes. I'd watch the fucking football game.
Well, this shakes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, now that this has all come to light, yeah, fuck it. I'll just watch the football.
Yeah,
game.
just watch
Right?
the football
I
game.
might
just watch one and then be like,
come
this
on.
is still stupid. Like,
You know
I have
what?
other shit
Yeah.
I'm into right now, and
Guess
it
what?
is what it
we
is.
still have
but-
free will,
Here's the
and like if
thing.
you don't like it, then
You
who gives
could
a
watch
shit,
that
you know?
football
But
game.
I'll be too curious
like,
not to.
This is stupid. Turn it off, and then 10 years later, turn on a different game and be like, all of a sudden, I'm invested for some fucking reason.
Hey,
who knows?
I turned on curling one fucking winter, and all of a sudden I have a new
Every
favorite sport. You know?
year.
Dude, right?
Every year the Winter Olympics come on, all of a sudden we give some semblance of a shit about some sport that we've never given a shit about before.
Oh no,
Dude.
it is just curling for me. Like,
I very much like downhill skiing.
oh, but I downhill ski,
Right?
so like
We're from
I've always
Oregon,
loved
and we've
downhill
downhill
skiing.
skied.
But I'm just saying, like, that one fucking year when it was in Vancouver and there was no fucking snow and we all had to watch indoor winter sports, like, I watched the Canadian women's curling team screaming hard at each other,
Yeah.
and I fell in love.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We
Hard!
we literally just we're all obsessive people because we're all nerds. So like we don't know what we're gonna like in 10
No.
years.
Right.
Okay.
You know?
I have one more wrinkle I'd love to
Oh, throw me
just-
a wrinkle out because I've got a wrinkle too.
Okay,
and I
so
like these.
the only one thing I just thought of is what we may not know is imagine if around the time whenever you actually did start getting obsessed, what if it is because like someone magical and unbelievable got into the world of Canadian football?
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think of just a celebrity that we
Timothy
already
Chalamet?
know.
Right. Dude,
Just,
yes.
wait, who's that?
Timothy Chalamet?
Yeah, who's
He's like the new,
He's an angel who descended to Earth?
he's like the new golden boy of fucking Hollywood.
He's
Okay.
Paul Atreides in the new Dune movie.
He
I am
is.
very
Yes.
excited for that
Oh,
movie.
My nipples explode with delight.
But just like,
He's the heartthrob in Booksmart.
oh yeah, okay, yeah. But I'm just saying, like,
So there we go.
anybody. It could be somebody weird. It could be somebody hot. It could be like a weird politician. I don't know. It could just be like some.
Jeff Goldblum gets
Yeah,
into Canadian
right.
football.
Yeah, can you imagine? And then maybe you're just like, I'm so into, or maybe a few of them. Maybe there's just an
Right.
infiltration.
I got into
Canadian
Dancing with the
football,
Stars for a
and you're
hot
just like,
minute
this
when
is
fucking Bill
insane
Nye
and
was on
batshit,
Dancing
and
with
I'm
the Stars
down
'cause it
now.
was
Yeah,
Bill Nye.
Ron Swanson starts watching Canadian football.
Dude,
Yeah,
I don't know.
no.
Yeah, what if everything gets turned topsy-turvy? You don't know for sure. So, like, maybe it gets really interesting, and now, like, ironically,
No,
and then maybe unironically,
and
you're
there's
down
no,
just like into it.
there's no way to know. There's no way to know, like, what could be the turn, right? Like, what got you into it. Oh, nice. There goes new sounds. We're recording in a new room.
Right.
On that note, though,
Yeah.
I think we'll just wrap it up there. It looks like Shelby's sister is here, and we've got a lasagna to bake, and we've got some shit to
Holy
fuck
shit.
around with. So,
Absolutely.
but we wanted to like do one of these.
Dude,
Yeah.
this is the best. This
This
is like,
was super
it's like
fun.
my favorite
great.
shit. So,
My face hurts from laughing.
Right?
So,
oh, thank you all for
Hello.
listening.
say hi, Brittany. You're going to be on a podcast.
Fucking hi, podcast.
I love how you said hi to the podcast. Yeah, that's cool.
We do a hypothetical questions podcast.
Fun.
Brittany would, no questions asked, watch the football game. She already likes sports.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Canadian Football League, biggest fan.
Yeah. Does I look like one?
Oh yeah.
All right.
All right, folks. We'll see you next time.
Bye.